Here we are. Hi, Sherry.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I am really good, actually. I'm really, really good. I've been really looking forward to this chat with you because we've got a couple of topics on here that I think is going to be lots of laughter and fun. Which, I like to always have fun, but yeah, if I can laugh as much as I can, then that's really, really good. And we do laugh a lot. So this particular chat is called "Is Our Mind Our Own?" And we've got a couple of examples that we're going to talk through. Some examples of our own life. I just want to introduce, first of all, viewers, you to Sherry. Sherry is a light worker. She also channels light language and she channels spirit as well, and galactic spirit. That was awesome a couple of weeks ago. And she's also an artist and she makes botanicals as well. And she doesn't have somewhere that you can see those products just yet, but she is working on it. She's promised me.
Yes.
You're going to work on that. Yeah. Awesome. Okay. So, also, if you enjoy these conversations that I have with my friends, then hit that like button and subscribe as well. That would be really awesome because I really want to do this more often. I want to be introducing my friends to you, and I want to be interviewing more people, talking about mindfulness and talking about how easy it is to really get in touch with ourselves and to do all that amazing healing and to understand our bodies more and our energetic bodies as well. So is our mind our own, Sherry? Is it? Yes or no question. Is our mind our own?
Yes.
It is.
It
Okay,
is.
so so you're saying yes, our mind is our own. I'm actually going to go the opposite on this one. I'm going to say our mind might not be our own as much as we think it is. That's what I'm going to go with.
I think the reason that I said yes, that it is our own, if we because we can choose to give our mind away. We can
Right.
choose to have it
Get you.
manipulated. We can choose to have beliefs, you know, given to us that we absorb and take in and work with. So I think, because when you think of the mind of a child, you know
Yeah.
how 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 much the mind changes, from a child to an adult, and think of everything that they go through, the experience, school, teaching, growing up, and how much your minds change. So I guess it's almost like a double-edged sword. Is it our own? Yes, but our minds manipulated and filled with beliefs and knowledge that we've absorbed all around us? Then no, because we've
Yeah.
given our mind away.
Yeah, that's a really good point and very nice as well, I have to say. Now we were joking here last week, weren't we? We were having a chat about what we wanted to talk about today, really, and we were talking about just the simple pressures that we have on an everyday basis. So most of these examples are going to be because we're women and we have certain examples. There's certain things that we kind of struggle with in terms of pressure, and it's this feeling the need to do certain things, like what we do with our hair, gray hair, white hair. I mean, I know I started going gray when I was 29, and yeah, I mean, I've always dyed my hair, but it costs a lot of money to dye your hair unless you dye it yourself, and sometimes I do dye it myself, but not everybody has the skill to do that either. And then it's like gets you caught in this like anxiety, that I didn't, and I know that I don't need to be in that state of anxiety because of it, but I do, and then I have to pull myself out of it again, and I actually why did I even care in the first place? Who am I? Who do I want to be? Not who does society want me to be, or who do the advertisements say that they want me to be?
Right.
I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I looked up a couple of facts, and it said that women on average spend $15,000 in a lifetime on cosmetic industry. The
Wow.
cosmetic industry makes $382 billion annually.
Wow.
Because, when you
Wow.
think about it, the advertising and the marketing, we've got, they want us to change everything about, ourselves. Colored contacts, your eye color is too boring. Your hair is too boring. You got to color your hair. Your skin's not perfect, so you got to cover it all up, with makeup. Your eyes are too small, so you got to, add makeup to make it look bigger.
Yeah.
It almost
Yeah.
just seems like everything about us, there's something to change, something that
Yeah.
needs improved, or to make better, to make it bigger, more beautiful, that you're not considered beautiful without all these things.
Yes.
And I think that, one, the younger crowd, it's one of those things that, when you grow up, when you're young, you want to fit in. You don't want to be called out. You don't want to be called names. You don't want to have people make fun of you. Especially in school, there's a lot of peer pressure, for designer clothes, and um, you know, I remember, like, growing up, you know, my mom didn't let me wear makeup until I was 16, and nowadays, there are kids in elementary school, like fifth and sixth grade, that are wearing makeup already. And so you have the young person who's already youthful and beautiful to begin with, but you're already told, in like Teen Vogue magazines, that you got to prevent wrinkles, and there's this stigma about, if you get old, you get uglier as you age. And I don't
Yeah.
think that's true.
And there's certain products that market themselves to the older person
Right,
as well, aren't there? And you're
right.
telling us how our skin is wrinkly, and we can get rid of those if we want to, and our skin is badly, aging, and that
Yeah,
kind of stuff. And a lot of that is part of growing up, isn't it?
right.
Really.
You stop caring what other, you start caring less, I should say, what
Yeah,
other
you do,
people
I have to
want.
say.
And I know, with age comes wisdom. It's like, you don't have to impress it. You just learn. You just don't have to impress anybody except yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've never been very good with putting lots of different products on my face or on my body, because I almost have an OCD that I don't want to disturb the natural oils on my skin. Because I was saying earlier that I have a friend who, um, growing up, she used to wash her hair every single day. And because of that, the scalp automatically produced more oils and her hair was more greasy more quickly. Um, and so I don't like having lots of different products.
Right.
Um,
Right.
I
And, and back in the olden days, women didn't use conditioner. I don't know when conditioner, was invented. Probably when, they started inventing the shampoos that were stripping the natural oils out of your hair. Then you have to have the conditioner to put it back in. Well,
Yeah.
100 years ago, women had long, beautiful, healthy hair, but they brushed it 100 times a day, because then that would just naturally distribute the oils throughout all of the hair. And so their hair was like, just naturally shiny and healthy and beautiful. And they didn't do any of the stuff that we do now. We
They didn't
curl
have
it, we stick
tongs. They
it, we
didn't
perm
iron
it,
their
you
hair
know.
until the 70s,
Yes,
where
yeah,
I actually know people who used to iron their hair with the actual iron on the ironing board as well.
yeah. We're
I
burning
mean,
our
that sounds
hair.
bizarre, but
I mean,
you
when you're running that through your hair and you see the smoke, like sizzling off. Oh goodness, my dog is barking.
okay.
Um,
You want to go and see if he's
yeah,
okay?
he might need to go out. I'm so
Yeah, that's
sorry.
okay. You go
Okay.
ahead. You go
Either
ahead.
that or the mailman is here.
I'll talk to myself. I'll talk to myself.
Oh,
You're
I'm
good.
so sorry. Okay.
It's okay. Come on. So yeah, I mean, I don't really um, use a lot of products on my hair. I try not to use. Well, I do straighten my hair sometimes, for special occasions and things like that. But I really try not to use those types of products on my hair. So it's like as if um, they're kind of causing the problem, and then providing the solution for us as well at the same time. But we can choose, I suppose, whether we want to take that pressure on is that what we really want? Is that who we are? Are we doing these things for ourselves, or are we doing these things for society because we think that it's the right thing to do, or this is what we need to do to be beautiful, or something like that? Because we are just amazingly perfect exactly as we are. The other thing I was going to say, um, uh, about is about clothes as well. So I'm moving on to clothes before Sherry gets back. Is that actually finding a dress or finding an outfit for a wedding or something like that is one of my worst nightmares. um, because I just don't know when it comes to fashion. I just don't think I have any kind of fashion sense whatsoever. And actually, putting different outfits together, and I have friends who can put the right kind of jewelry with the right kind of outfit, and all of these kind of things, and it just absolutely amazes me. It would be lovely to be able to, do that naturally, but I do feel the pressure. I just moved on to clothes.
Oh my gosh. You know what? If we kept every like piece of clothing that we ever owned, how many more times would we wear it like 10 years later?
Yeah.
Because the styles seem to kind of come back.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah. Yeah.
Especially when you think of jeans, like,
Mm-hmm.
bell bottoms or ankle, what do they call those? Um, I don't know, the tight, they're tight around the ankles, or
Okay.
high waisted or low waisted. They change like every 10 years. So if you just kept like every pair of jeans you ever had, and you never change, your weight didn't change, would you be able to wear those exact same jeans 10 years later?
Yeah. Yeah. And we've got this thing of, especially for us women, you've got a daytime outfit and you've got a nighttime outfit, and you've even got daytime makeup and nighttime makeup as well. It's like,
Right.
what? Are you kidding? I can't keep up. I am just me.
Yes. I'm just all about comfort now. It's like, if clothes aren't comfortable, I don't care. I don't care if they're in style or not.
No.
Like what would we each of us do if there were no expectations of fashion or cosmetics or appearance in general? If we didn't feel like we had to live up to somebody's standards, or we didn't want somebody talking about us behind our back, or judging you as you're walking down the street, how would each of us be? Would I have a feeling that a lot of us would look a lot more original.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
if they want to kind of cookie cutter, you're how people look. So everybody's dressing very similar, or blonde is in, or brunette is in, or like I said,
Eyebrows.
bell
Literally,
bottom, yeah,
eyebrow shapes have different fashion styles.
yes.
I just
And
can't.
I barely have eyebrows, so
I mean, I do, but I draw them on. These are drawn in as well. Otherwise, you probably my eyebrows would be like yours. That's why I have to draw them in. But I am absolutely aware that there are certain people that feel better about themselves when they look good on the outside. But I'm not one of those people. I'm an inside out person, and I think I should be allowed to be an inside out person. If you see
right.
me on any given day and I look horrendous, it's because I'm like really struggling with something on the inside.
Yes.
And and I think that's important, because we're not saying don't care about what you look like.
Right.
We're saying be you,
Yes.
whatever that might be, but don't get caught up in the pressure, I suppose, of how you think you should be, because that kind of going against the grain and going against your authentic self can eventually down the line lead you to be ill. You can create an illness by continuing down in that direction. And of course, if you're doing it with that, if you're turning a blind eye to that, what else are you turning a blind eye to? So it's just about awareness.
Right.
really just about being aware of how you're feeling, what is your gut telling you at, you
Right.
know, at any given time about these things. And if you literally have one day where you know, feel great and you wear makeup and you do your hair nice and everything, and then the next day you don't feel like it, you know, I personally don't think any less of you as an individual.
Right.
um and if that's how you is that if that's what you need to do to function in society, because we all still have to do the thing, don't we? You know, we all still have to live.
Right.
Then that's absolutely fine.
It's learning to just be genuine and genuine to yourself. You know, that's what it really boils down to, is just being genuine to yourself.
It sounds really easy, Sherry.
Oh, I know. Oh, I know.
Sounds
Oh, yeah.
really
Yeah.
easy, doesn't it? It's like you got to go, like, you know, go and sit on a mountain for a few days to
Yes.
find yourself. You know, you're like, how do you do that?
Right.
And, you know, for me personally, mindfulness really helped me to identify and to connect with myself. And that's why I do what I do. But there are so many different ways of connecting and finding ourselves. But, right, devil's advocate, I'm going to be here. What if you think you're being authentic to yourself, but you're not?
Ooh.
At what point do you identify that? And I have to say that unfortunately, it's usually when people become ill, whether it's mentally ill or physically ill in some way,
Mm-hmm.
that they you know, almost have a kind of a revelation that something's not right, something
Mm-hmm.
doesn't feel right, I need to do something here, and then they kind of embark on that journey to find out who they are. Because I think all that programming and everything that we get
Right.
in the school
Right.
system, and, you know, ignoring our boundaries and, you know, those types of things are really damaging, and we have to figure out those things and then do the healing. You know, we have to put those boundaries back in place.
Right.
We have to heal the trauma, and then we have to rebuild, you know.
Right. Yeah, because it took a long time for all that programming to be put in there.
Yeah,
It's, you know, to deprogram, it's not just going to be like switching an on and off switch.
yeah, yeah. You know, and I'm absolutely in no means saying that I'm there. You know, I'm
Oh,
still
yeah. Oh,
learning
there.
every day. I'm still learning, and I always say that, you know, that my clients either are not, are I'm not an expert on anyone. you know,
Right.
my clients are are the expert on themselves, and it's better that way anyway. Because, you know, first of all, you know, we need to be empowered to take control of our own mental health and our own physical health. And secondly, you know, you are you. You know what you feel. You know what you're thinking. You know, not even a psychic person, you know, and we know a few, would be able to just tell you what you're thinking and feeling all the time. It doesn't work
Right.
that way, does it? You
No.
know, if people like to say that, they say, oh, you know, well, I'm not psychic. I don't know what you're saying, you know, all the time, or
Right.
what you're thinking all the time. But at the same time, neither can a psychic person. So, you know, that's not it's not the way it goes.
Right.
Okay, so we've got some other things that we want to moan about as well. So I'm going to move on to. Okay, I was watching TV last week, and it struck me the amount of advertisements on the TV. And I know not everybody watches TV, and you know what? I don't watch a huge amount of TV unless it's a documentary or something like that. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I prefer to learn rather than, you know, watch. Well, certainly
Mind,
not watch the news.
yeah, mind candy.
Yeah, that's it exactly. And all of these ads were coming on. Right. Okay. So the really high end ads that you can tell that there was a serious amount of money put into
Right.
are telling us what we want. And I'm like, first of all, you don't tell me what I want. That's my job. Okay. And then there were other ads that came up as well, and they were tugging on my heartstrings, trying to that making me feel bad
Right.
for a world problem as such. And I'm
Right.
not saying, you know, it's really important that we, you know, help charities out and things like that. But what I resent is being manipulated emotionally. Um, you know, when I am in my home, you know, I'm in my safe place. It's like as if being at home isn't even safe anymore. Is
Right.
that a bit dramatic? Am I being dramatic?
Right. And they're everywhere, on your phone, and just about anything, anywhere you go on your phone, whether it's a game, it's YouTube, it's Facebook, it's, whatever. There are ads everywhere constantly. And in fact, actually, YouTube is like now up to like showing 3 ads per video or something. Now it just keeps getting more and more and more.
Yeah.
And it's extremely manipulative. There is actually like psychology behind advertising and marketing. They know
Yes.
exactly what they're
Yes.
doing.
Yeah. Yeah. And I used to work in sales. So, I know a little bit about how they get into the customer's head, and how
Right.
they manipulate and how they use, people that like themselves. So they use those hooks to get us in. I mean, now I just switch off because I know that manipulation is there. But it is something that I wanted to talk about and raise awareness to, because it's important that we are, as individuals, sovereign is a word that's been thrown around an awful lot. I don't know if people will
Mm-hmm.
know that word, but it's really important that we know that we are almost like a whole universe unto ourselves, and nobody can mess with us or with that universe unless we allow them to.
Yes. Yes.
And I know that there are circumstances that make it more difficult, but these are like the really basic things that we can become aware of, that we can, separate our own mind
Right.
from the manipulation.
Yeah. It's learning how to say no. You know
Yeah.
what? And the more we say no, those no's keep adding up. It's not to say that, you're going to be perfect every time, you're going to have slip ups. But the more we say no, the more we tune it out, turn it off, say no, and just not having it.
Yeah.
That's how you maintain your boundaries, you maintain your sovereignty. You just say no. I'm not
Yeah.
having it. Did you ever see the movie They Live?
No, but lots of people have been speaking about it within the last 6 months,
I don't want to
particularly.
give too much away if you haven't seen it, but it's if you want to, a movie that really shows you like how much there's manipulation, in
Right.
advertising. Yeah, that's a must see movie. Now it's a good movie because I mean it's not like it has great acting and it's kind of cheesy and it's one of the like a cult classic type of movie.
Okay.
But yeah, I would definitely highly recommend that movie if you want to see a movie that clearly shows how much you're manipulated. It's an
Okay.
amazing one.
Okay. Yeah, I have heard about it. What about the movie Look Up? Have you seen that one?
Look Up?
Look Up.
No, uh-uh.
It's got Leonardo DiCaprio, Meryl Streep. I can't remember the other names.
Oh, I'm gonna have to write that down.
But that's quite a recent one that was out
Oh,
late last year, I think, or early this year. And that highlights massively, how we are manipulated.
okay.
Yeah. And it's interesting because what you're saying about saying no and switching it off, I absolutely am with you on that one. And it's not a case of I've got to switch it off forever. It's a case of switching it off and seeing what life is like without it for a while. And then when
Right.
you reintroduce it again, you see it in a very different
Yes.
way. It's like cutting something out of your diet to see if you're allergic to it and then
Right.
reintroducing it again, that kind of thing. Yeah, I mean, change your sensory diet, I suppose, in that way, choose how you want to feel and choose what thoughts you want to have
Mm-hmm.
every day. And actually somebody, I can't remember who it was, I haven't got the name right now, but somebody did comment on one of the videos I did with Julia, and they said exactly that when we get up in the morning, we can choose our thoughts and we can choose how we feel about things. And Absolutely, I completely agree. But then you step outside the front door. You don't need. Well, we've proven you don't even need to step outside the front door to
Right.
get manipulation. But
Yeah.
these are the things that, like in passing, in our subconscious, when we're not necessarily paying attention, is going in
It is.
and is
Yep.
affecting us emotionally. Um,
Yes.
so it's an emotional diet as well. It's like, what are you allowing yourself to? What roller coasters are we allowing ourselves to be stuck on?
Right. But they do make it almost nearly impossible because it's so
It's
much
hard.
everywhere all the time. It is hard to escape. Like you said, we're not all just, living in a monastery, high up in the mountains, away from everything.
Yeah.
They do their job, with the advertising and marketing. They do it well, but there's hardly no escaping it.
No. I mean, I'm allergic to milk, dairy in general, but I just can't stop eating cheese or,
I'm the same way.
you
I do.
know,
I'm
do
not
like a
supposed.
yogurt every now and then. And
Yep, yep. I'm not supposed to have dairy, and I do because I love my cheese and I love my ice cream.
yeah. And I do have to really, really limit it, But I know that when I take that risk, I know what I'm getting myself into, and I'm
Right,
making that decision. And I
right,
suppose it's how far over your boundary are you prepared to go?
right.
And do you know where your boundaries are in that sense? And if you don't, kind of cut something out or reduce down the time that you have, say on your phone. I'm phone isn't something that I necessarily want to reduce my time on, but TV or whatever
Mhm.
whatever it is, and for a lot of people it is phone, and it should be phone, but it's not. Is yeah, it's just being aware, being aware. Am I going to allow myself to be emotionally manipulated? Am I going to
Right.
allow myself to be, and we don't, we really don't have to. We don't
No,
have to.
and
And
I think a lot of. Oh, sorry.
no, there was a time when I would probably have said, um, that's not possible, because we'll always be manipulated subconsciously in some way. But as I've got older, and I've kind of care less, but also at the same time become aware of the things that I've become aware of, it absolutely does get easier. Sorry, Sharon,
Yes.
what were you going to say?
And I think that we also have to, you know, look inside too. Are we self-sabotaging as
Yes.
well?
Yes.
Knowing full well, that something isn't healthy, but then choosing to do it anyways. Why?
Yeah.
That's when you really have to, do the hard work and look inside.
That's a really good conversation that we should have at some point, genuinely, because there are so many different reasons why we could be self-sabotaging, and then how do we get out of that habit, because it
Right.
because it is a habit, isn't it? Of course there's a reason why the self-sabotaging happens in the first place, but then we get stuck in that loop and we don't know how to break
Yes.
that loop, don't we?
Yep.
Yeah. And it's almost like, as well, it's very similar to the resistance to wanting to be present.
Right.
um, why am I resisting being in this present moment? What is stopping me? Where is it that I really want to be? And why
Right.
do I want to be somewhere else other than in the present moment?
Exactly.
And that does take a lot of soul searching. But for people like me and you, that's great, because that's something that we enjoy doing.
Right.
In a really weird way, we
Yes.
actually really enjoy doing those things. but for some people, just getting started is really, really tricky, really, really difficult. And that's again where mindfulness comes into it. And that first step of slowing down and being present and retraining our minds to be present and retraining the neurons in our brain to work in a different way,
Right.
so that we don't then get caught up in the same thought processes, and we become aware of our thought process rather than getting caught up in the thought processes, and then getting caught up in the emotional side of it as well, from a CBT perspective. It's,
Right.
what we think becomes an emotion, becomes a behavior in that sense. Absolutely fascinating, isn't it? I mean, we're bombarded with all of these things, and they're
Yes.
not us. None of these things are us. None of
No.
these things are who we are authentically.
Right. And so you have to ask yourself, if you have all this stuff, are you happy? Are you you know are you happy with all this stuff that they tell you you should buy in order to make yourself happy, make yourself beautiful, make yourself respected? Are you happy?
Mm. Yeah. And at the same time, if you go for a job, then you are expected to look a certain way.
Right.
So you
Right.
do then have to, even against your better judgment,
Yes.
adopt a certain
Yes. Yeah.
persona, don't you?
Yes, because there are codes, there's laws, there's dress codes, there's laws of what you can and can't wear in
Yeah.
public. We can't just go
Yeah.
buck naked
Yeah.
everywhere.
And when I think of my son, and he's autistic, and he talks about when he goes to school that he is pretending that he's okay for the whole day. And that makes me so
Wow.
sad. And at the same time, how many of us are going to a workplace, to a job that we don't like, and we're dressing up and playing a persona that's not who we are at the same time?
Yes.
Oh my God, that is exhausting.
Yes.
Exhausting. So we do need to find ways of balancing that, don't we? We need to find ways of um, finding those passions and those things that ignite you, or ignite me, and bring some of that into balance at the very, very least.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, and a lot of that just comes down to becoming self-aware.
Hmm.
If
Yeah.
when you're able to see that and acknowledge that, then you can work on hopefully changing it.
Yeah.
But again, we're so distracted and manipulated. How many people really are self-aware? Your society, has you been this person, and that's all you've ever known. That's all you ever do. Is it the real you?
Hmm. Yeah. And we're pigeonholed. And
Right.
like, we know where we fit into society. And very often we feel like we're never going to move from that place that we've been put, that's it
Right.
now for life.
Right.
We're in that box, and
Yes.
we don't get to be anything else.
Right. And unless you have a spiritual awakening, and then spirit has kicked your butt into into where they want you to go. They kick you out. They kick you out without an
Yeah. If you
instruction
don't
manual.
leave, you'll be kicked out anyway.
Oh yeah, yes, and you're kicked out without an instruction manual, and then you're left in pieces, just trying to figure out how to pick yourself up and put yourself back together. And
Yeah.
again, kind of claiming a different role, but it's we're genuine. It really is, but
Yeah.
it's hard work. It's not easy.
No. No, it's not. Um, yeah, again, it's kind of a whole different show, isn't it? That we could do on spiritual awakenings. Everybody has such a different story to tell, and
Yes.
incredible stories to tell. Absolutely amazing. Right, was there anything else that you wanted to say on that before we move on to the last topic?
Oh no, I think that that was a good way to
Okay.
to end that one.
So, the last topic is what we wanted to do was we really wanted to challenge some beliefs.
Yes.
And we have some examples of belief systems that have been passed down over a long period of time with no scientific foundation. Correct me if I'm wrong. I could be wrong on that. Maybe there is a scientific explanation. But I don't understand how a lot of people will consider in the UK, I don't know about the US, but the UK, the number 7 is a lucky number. But in China, the lucky number is number 8. So, like, yeah,
So
or maybe
who's
somewhere else,
right?
number 7, maybe 7 is an unlucky number. How can that be
Right. Right.
it's like, I don't get it. Um, so there's those things which, I mean, I'm all into angel numbers and things like that, but you can't really go wrong with that. It's always like so happy.
Yeah.
Um, but at the same time, there's these kind of superstitions that, uh, money spiders. So in the UK anyway, and Ireland, these little spiders, if you see one, it's supposedly a money spider and you're going to get some money. So I'd love for anyone who is watching this video to put in the comments if you've ever seen a money spider and then received money within 48 hours after finding that money spider, please. Because I've seen money spiders and the money's not come. So I'm just wondering about all of these things that we've been told are potentially bad luck. Or, if somebody gets an itch somewhere on their body, then that means something different. So if somebody gets an itchy nose, I always heard that, that you're going to have a fight with somebody, or, something like that.
Right.
Or my mom always said not to ever buy anybody knives because you'll end up having a fight with that person that you gave the knives to.
Oh, huh.
Yeah. So there's all of these things that are passed down through generations with
Yes.
not necessarily any scientific background. It might have been some coincidences a couple of times that made them think that way. But I mean, I'm very much into the power of intention, and I think if we're putting negative intention on a whole array of things, then we're kind of like taking, we're giving ourselves more bad luck. Is the way that I
Right.
feel about it.
Right.
Like we're talking ourselves into bad luck again. What, I don't know. What do you think? I know you had
Um,
some examples from the States.
well, I know in, like European cultures and American cultures, it's supposed to be bad luck if it rains on your wedding, but then you
Right.
have, desert cultures, or that live in the hot climate, and rain on a wedding day is a blessing. It's a miracle. It's a, a sign of good luck, for the couple.
Mm.
Talking about the, like the good luck and bad luck, I actually found it, after the car had been driven for miles. I got out of my car and there was a penny on the back of my bumper. And so it's like the whole pennies from heaven, it's a sign from your loved ones or angels. But it was tail side up. And I almost didn't pick it up because there's the saying, find a penny, pick it up, all day long you'll have good luck. But it's only supposed to be if it's on heads. At least, that's what I was told, growing up, that if it's tails up, then you don't pick it up because it's unlucky. But I'm thinking, I'm like, no, why would my loved ones or my angels, give me a bad luck penny? So and it's funny that, we ended up talking about this today, because that's exactly what I'm thinking. I'm like, I'm not going to consider this penny bad luck because it's tail side up. It was a sign for my, spirit guides, and I'm going to go home and put it in my collection of other coins, that they've had me find, over the years.
Well, I actually didn't know that it made a difference whether it was tails or heads side up because we do the same superstition, but yeah, I never pay any attention to which way around it is. I mean, quite frankly, I prefer a 20 quid note rather than a penny. I mean, that's much more useful, really, isn't it? But the other one that we were thinking of as well was walking the lines on the footpath. Like, you can't walk on the lines on the footpath, otherwise you'll get bad luck.
Yes, and over, when I was growing up, it was awful. It was step on a crack, break your mother's back. So it's like I would go tiptoeing all, like I would try so hard to miss like every single crack in the sidewalk because I didn't want to hurt my mom's back.
I mean, that's actually, I remember that being really stressful as a kid. That was really stressful. What are we doing to our children?
Yes.
Honestly. Yeah. And then you're worrying, oh my God, I stepped on the line. I've got bad luck coming. And then you're waiting for the bad luck. And then, like, what?
Or hold your breath, as you're driving by a graveyard, so that
I don't know that one.
The ghosts won't get you. Or it was something about driving over a bridge. I don't remember exactly what that one was. Or
Oh,
walking
don't.
under a ladder, was
Yes, I
bad
was just
luck.
going to
And
say. I know what. Yeah, don't walk under a ladder, or don't walk under a ladder with your left foot first, or something like that as well. It's like, no, it's too much. And now, right, I have to say, honestly, now if I see a ladder, or if I see, I don't know, some kind of structure that I need to walk under, a lot of people will walk around it, and I'm like, no, I'm going to confidently walk under it. It doesn't matter what foot I use. I'm just going to do it and not think about it, and you know, or turn those things around and just make ourselves look. I'm all for mind tricks. If you need to trick your mind into being positive, I'm all for that, honestly.
right.
Because I've done it so much over the years. You trick your mind into thinking that all of these things are now good luck and not bad luck. It's all good luck.
Yes.
Can we do that?
Yes.
Can we do
that? They say we make our own luck.
Yeah. Completely agree. Completely agree. Oh, well, there you go. It's just, these are just some of the things that just add pressure, and look, honestly, we've all got enough to deal with on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, and we've got everything is so busy. Everybody's so busy. Everybody's got so much to do, and so much work to do. And honestly, just deciding what's for dinner can be a stress sometimes.
Oh, yes.
Every single day, what's for dinner every day.
Yes.
And I don't always like to eat the same thing. I can't do a shop and then go, right, Monday I'm going to have this, Tuesday I'm going to have this, Wednesday I'm going to have this. I can't do that because I feel different every day. So I don't help myself. I do understand that. But yeah, we've got lots of decisions that we have to make every day. And we've got so much sensory input from so many different places every single day. We really just need to give ourselves a break. And if these kind of things are, if we can take these particular situations and, give ourselves, take some pressure off ourselves.
Yes, I agree. Especially,
easier.
Excuse me. You might, be doing something and you've done it a certain way. And then you all of a sudden like read something somewhere that like tells you that you've been doing it like that's the wrong way, like this whole time. And you're like, what?
Yeah. Oh dear. I mean, this is a slightly different topic, but for years and years, my partner was told by his GP that he wasn't able to take ibuprofen with his tablets, and he's recently done some research on that himself and found out that he can take ibuprofen with those tablets. And so sometimes somebody will say something to us and we'll take it as read, won't we? Without actually going and doing our own research or whatever it might be. And the example I have for that is that when I was working for a company and I was doing some training, and we've got these booklets that we need to learn and understand, and we can use as resources. And within the group, I noticed that one of the people in the group were there were a couple of people in the group, and they were all going to this one person or this other person. They were going to a colleague, and they were finding the answer to a question without going and doing the research for themselves. And they were all getting the wrong answer because they had just assumed that person knew the correct answer rather than actually. And so I use that as a life example now for myself and think, yes, by all means, go and ask somebody, and and if they can help you, and if they have some kind of expertise, or they definitely do know the answer. But at the same time, just be careful of what you want to take on, and be careful of how that might affect you as an individual.
Yeah, that's a really good example. How much disinformation or misinformation, have we gotten over the years? Again, like the wives' tales, you just take it you take it for what it is. Like your mother told you this, or a teacher told you this, and you just take it for gospel because they're an adult. They're, you think, all the adults know the answers, and they're all experts, and and maybe maybe they're not.
It's becoming clear that even if somebody's wearing a white coat, they might not even be a doctor. Do we're programmed that the person wearing the white coat is a doctor.
Right.
But they could have a different kind of degree, or they could be a dentist. So asking them a question about your gallbladder might not be the right thing to do.
Right.
So it's that thing of always looking for an authority figure in that sense.
Yes.
And I think I just kind of decided that I want to be my own authority figure, for myself, and and just try to embody that sense of curiosity, because I'm guilty myself of taking on all of this information as being gospel when there's no grounding or foundation for it. But we can all become aware of these things at different times in our lives, and that's okay too. So I ask the viewers to be as non-judgmental as possible as well with regards to this, because you don't know what you don't know. And if this has, given you some kind of awareness of the types of things that cause stress or put extra pressure on us, then you can choose now how you want to live, and what you allow yourself to be affected by.
Yes.
Have you got any advice for the viewers before we go?
Oh goodness, you're putting me on the spot.
I know I
am. I would just say, we're coming into this time of awareness and learning our boundaries and learning our sovereignty. And so I think with that, yes, you have to do research, but then you also have to have faith too. Faith that, you'll get what you need, when you need it, or when changes happen, that maybe are pushing you, out of your boxes and out of your comfort zone. Don't try not to resist. Try and go more with the flow, because where you might be heading might be better than you expected. It's always that introspection and looking back. Like, oh, if I had known, I would have done that sooner. So just kind of when things start changing, and you're coming into different awareness, and learning about yourself, just have some faith and try to go with the flow. But then also, so that you're not steered wrong, it never hurts to do research or study, or seek counseling, seek an expert, but an expert that you trust. Make sure it's the right kind of expert, but then also remember that we're all human, we're all infallible, and not everybody is going to have 100% of the answers 100% of the time.
Yeah, and do what feels right for you.
Right.
Regardless of what
that's where really we're having to learn what is best for us, not for everyone else. Besides the fact of, mothering and parenting, being, a spouse or whatnot, I'm talking more, just personal choices, that aren't going to affect others.
Yeah. And, and be prepared to sit with completely opposing views.
Yes.
I'm still working towards that in different circumstances, but I love the idea of being able to sit with completely opposing views and actually not choosing one. Does that sound really odd? So it's like, I don't have to have an opinion on everything.
Yes.
I just like to know that there are different angles and different points of view.
Yes. Learning to be objective. Take this information, not judging, but being objective. That's very, very important.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh gosh. Well, we're nearly 40. We're 49 minutes in.
Wow,
I didn't think it was going to be
wow.
this long.
It felt like
Um,
15 minutes.
yeah. So like I said, like and subscribe so that we can put more of these videos up, because we just love doing them so much. And we really want to put more content out there for you guys as well, you know, to let's just support each other and help each other through difficult times, you know, and be positive for each other and lift each other up. You know,
Yep.
that's what it's all about. We need to all come together. So yeah, please, yeah, keep us going, and me and Sherry will do more videos.
Yay, I would love to. Thank you.
Definitely, and we'll have a little think about what we want to do the next video on, and hopefully you'll like that as well. But so for the moment, you can decide for yourself, is your mind your own? And I'll leave that with you guys, and if you want to put a comment underneath the video, then please do. Okay, so for now, it's goodbye for me and Mindful Ways, and it's a goodbye for Sherry. You can say
Bye.
goodbye. Bye. Take care.